In the dreaded days leading up to the decisive Battle of Yavin, the Imperial Death Star was regarded as one of the single most powerful superweapons in the galaxy, capable of annihilating entire planets who opposed the reign of Darth Sidious. While the Death Star acted as the focus of the rebellion's primary objective, how many other superweapons were pioneered throughout the history of the Star Wars galaxy? What other incredibly powerful Sith weapons were capable of rivaling the Death Star in terms of raw destructive capabilities, and the threat that they held against the civilian population? Well, today, weary acolytes of the galaxy, let's discuss some of the most powerful superweapons known to the Star Wars lore. Let's begin with the abandoned Sith weapon on Malachor, which was discovered by Kanan Jarrus and Ezra Bridger as they sought an ancient Sith holocron rumored to reside in the ancient Sith temple. Here, Kanan recounts the tale of why the world of Malachor was originally forbidden by the ways of the old Jedi, citing that it acted as a hub of Sith warfare, housing with it a superweapon of unfathomable power. While we don't see the weapon of Malachor in action, there is a tangible history which stretches all the way back to 3966 BBY, when the weapon was first constructed, and during the conflict, it does in fact power up. According to legend, the weapon was capable of petrifying living creatures, freezing soldiers in place on the battlefield, and this firing cycle began once again during Kanan and Ezra's pursuit of the holocron within. While the cycle was never finished, it was used during the Great Scourge of Malachor, in which the Jedi Order and the Sith Empire battled one another during the weapon's earliest days, the remains of which can still be seen when Kanan and Ezra arrive on the planet. These petrified statues remained perfectly preserved for thousands of years as a result of the superweapon on Malachor, and if the weapon had been allowed to go to the public, it could have been used to conquer entire civilizations without destroying their home world. While the Death Star is certainly a powerful and heavily formidable weapon, it still annihilates entire planets in the wake, destroying its resources and its sympathizers, as well as knowledge or supplies that might have been useful to the Empire. The weapon of Malachor, however, as designed by the Sith, would defeat enemy combatants by the dozens, while still leaving the planet and battlefield perfectly intact for whoever wanted to conquer the remaining reigning civilization, making it inherently dangerous not just in its ability to defeat legions of soldiers en masse, but also in the limited collateral damage that it would cause, again unlike the Death Star. The lack of immensely devastating collateral damage was seen as one of the most promising upsides to using this weapon, over something more inherently destructive, again like the Death Star. But let's move on to other Sith superweapons. The Starfish was another incredibly powerful superweapon first utilized around 5,000 years before the Battle of Yavin and the events of Star Wars: A New Hope. This time though, it was not actually directly a Sith superweapon, but was rather stemmed from Chiss ancestry. Much like the Death Star, this weapon functioned by concentrating large blasts of energy, though the Starflash harnessed tachyonic energy rather than that of a Kyber crystal, but instead of aiming this beam at an armada of opposing forces, they would instead fire it at a nearby star. This weapon only took around 20 Chiss officers in order to man, while as the Death Star had to be constantly manned by thousands of troops at a single time, and this blast would be absorbed and deflected by the star in question. The star's inherent ability to augment this discharge meant that the blast emitted by the star was much more powerful than the original beam as produced by the Starflash. Its inherent destructive capabilities rivaled that of the Death Star, while being a fraction of the size and able to be operated by less than 24 soldiers. It was far more mobile than the Emperor's famed battle station and could be transported with general ease as opposed to a station the size of a moon. Originally, the weapon was hidden away with the intent of remaining a secret, though it was ultimately pulled into use on Sisla by the descendants of its creators hundreds of years after it had been initially designed. And while the Chiss were under siege, a brave group of volunteers took the weapon into the heat of battle. They fired it at their own sun in order to annihilate the fleet of opposition, and this resulted in a long-lasting damage being done to their own sun, which permanently handicapped the star in question. Their sun was inherently dimmer for the next several thousand years, depleting its capability to maintain life in the systems surrounding it, which directly affected the nearby planets for hundreds of years. Although it never went fully extinct, the star leaves many to question whether or not this superweapon could have been used to completely destroy entire suns, if ever deemed necessary by the Chiss. Though the original Starflash was lost to history, it was eventually reconstructed during the age of the Clone Wars, though this too remained a secret known only to a few key Chiss operatives. One far more modern superweapon was that of Sabine Wren's own arc pulse generator, which was designed with the intent of specifically targeting Mandalorians during her time at the Imperial Academy. The weapon targeted Mandalorians by targeting their specialized Beskar alloy, which compromised Mandalorian armor, superheating the armor and defeating the Mandalorian soldiers without Imperial stormtroopers ever being necessary. This, much like the Malachor superweapon, is dangerous due to its inherent precision and ability to mitigate any collateral damage while still causing mass casualties. The Death Star has the capability to cause wide amounts of unchecked calamity without control. On the other hand though, the arc pulse generator would have been able to save lives of stormtroopers and Imperial sympathizers, as well as preserve any architecture and structures on their target planet, making this a genocidal weapon dangerous only to Beskar-clad Mandalorians. While some of these weapons are specifically targeted and able to operate with extreme precision, there were other tools pioneered with the tactic of causing widespread destruction, one of which was the Onager-class Star Destroyer. These Imperial weapons served as a sort of precursor to the Death Star, using Kyber technology on Star Destroyers in order to allow each individual ship the ability to cause widespread destruction to entire cities, moons, or even small planets. This exceedingly rare capital ship was shrouded in immense secrecy throughout the early days of the Empire, and was used to destroy various Separatist strongholds after the end of the Clone War. Although Dooku was dead and Separatist leadership was eradicated, there remained several factions of Separatist sympathizers that had to be dealt with if the Empire was to reign supreme, and these superweapons were tested on the remaining factions of Separatist operations. While it is yet to be officially confirmed in canon, many believe that these Onager-class Star Destroyers were repurposed after the collapse of the Empire, and when Darth Sidious went into hiding, he used this to construct a new fleet of Star Destroyers on Exegol. But anyway, my friends and students of the Force, these are some of the most dangerous superweapons in Star Wars canon. Let us know if you would like another video detailing some of the most dangerous superweapons of the Sith from the ancient days and in Star Wars Legends. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, may the Force be with you, and have a great day.